Hello fellow people of Vega Conflict, Minecraft, or of the Regiment. In today's video, or tomorrow's, whenever I post this, I want to kind of go over into what Vega Conflict is, because in the last video, I was recruiting for my group, yet everybody that joined was freshly new and had no clear idea what they were doing. And so what I want to explain is that Vega Conflict, as you know or may not know, is a free-to-play MMO or RTS game, standing for Massive Multiplayer Online or Real-Time Strategy Game. It's multi-platform, so you could be a PC player from a Mac, Linux, or using an HP, Windows, or you could be mobile using iPad, Android, iPhone, just practically anything except a console device. And the kind of cool thing, even though the game has became what it is, it's still free to play no matter any circumstances. Like, to download the game is free, and to have fun in the game doesn't cost money. Now the concept is that for mobile players, it's kind of like it's kind of like the same type of game that Clash of Clans is, and instead of using a huge fat army, you're just using 6 very customized, like strategically customized ships, where you can use formations and different classes of ships. And then you kind of have a similar concept with the base, except that when you build their base, everything is supported by this one module. So if I take that out, everything will go offline. And you always want to keep your base powered. And the reason why is because if somebody decided to take a stroll in your base, you do not have your base powered or any of your modules, you will have a very drastically chance of winning your defense. And I'll kind of get into tips later, but I'm just going to explain more what the game is about and a little bit more detail of our group recruitment. Now, when you're farming for resources or just gathering resources, there's multiple ways you can play this game. You can be just a total pacifist and just farm resources galore. Of course, that would just take forever, but it's peaceful. You could kind of, I guess, it's not that risky, but you could take a risk and for lower level players and try and farm cargo. And even though it doesn't pay off that much, if you just grind, you'll eventually get that amount of resources. And when you do this, I recommend that you don't attack cargoes that are too higher than your level. Otherwise, if you do somehow manage to destroy that fleet, the cost of your repairs will not give you profit of what you made. Now, you can attack cargoes or just grind yourself, or you can straight up attack other players, like some people do, or you can be a total pirate and just hijack people's resources. For example, like these guys right here, they have resources right here. They're attacking a fleet. For example, this guy. When he's done what's gonna happen is if there's any remains, like there'll be whatchamacallit, there'll be remains of the fleet where you can get resources. Now, you can be a pirate and just totally, you can steal it all, but the thing is, you will be labeled as like a police seat. It's like leftovers and you can steal. The problem is, it's nowadays, well, it's been a long time, but not since the beginning. If you steal from somebody, it has like a symbol that kind of relates to the police, where your fleet lights up in red and blue, and it pretty much signals that you stole from somebody. If you want to steal from somebody efficiently, for example, like right here, say they use their cargo fleet, their lower level fleet usually, and they attack the cargo, collect the cargo. What you can do is something like this, where you would attack the fleet that's carrying the cargo, so that way, once you attack the cargo fleet, that's usually defenseless, the lower level ones, you can get the resources and then not be lit. Now, the only thing is, you have to be quick, because then otherwise it will become noticeable for the player that you're attacking, but not necessarily the surrounding players. Now more towards recruitment and kind of group rules. We try not steal from other players, even though I just taught you how to kind of steal from other players. When you're in our group, try not to steal from other players unless you want to be attacked by the people you stole from. And if that happens, don't expect us to help you, because you kind of asked for it. Now, for example, like this guy Lyric did earlier, you're going to want to not even steal amongst ourselves. Like, if we have players that are farming and they're just leaving leftovers and they're not going to collect it, then it's fine to collect it. But don't attack each other or steal directly from each other, otherwise you can get attacked from your own teammates, because if you did that, and after that it can mean a kick, or it could be just straight to a kick. Now, in addition to that, we have to say that you have to be kind of active, and not only do you have to be semi-active, you actually have to do something in the game. You can't just join, be active, and do literally nothing, or be unactive and have a high level account. Like, none of those go. If you ever feel motivated or encouraged to join, you can join here. This is the group where we're recruiting. Anybody can join. We're okay with recruiting straight up new players, but I would recommend before you join us, you kind of get a grasp on what the game is before you just straight up join us. Otherwise, you may just grow bored and you become inactive in the group, and time goes by, and then when we kick you, you're like, what the heck happened? So, keep those things in mind. And also, I've seen this as a kind of a thing. At the bottom right, you'll see these three tabs, and this is more for the new players. These three tabs. The first one is your base. The second one is the planet that you live on with the players that live on the same planet. And the sector view is your solar system and other solar systems with hundreds upon thousands of other players. And now, what these things are is other sectors. And these sectors make up all one galaxy. And there's five or six, 5 sectors in total in this galaxy. And there's multiple galaxies, and so on and so forth, making this game have over a couple million players. Now, once you kind of follow these guidelines and you're like, there's really nothing interesting left in the game, there's these things which you call blueprints, and you can collect more uniquely and more useful weapons for what the role of farming you're looking for. Like, I have a fair amount from farming, and I'll look into finding a tutorial for you guys on how to farm for blueprints if you're interested, if you get into the game enough. And you don't hit these, you hit normal cargoes that are at a certain particular level, and there'll be like a certain chance of you being able to get one, and then you hit like a couple of days, eventually over time, maybe in a couple of days, you'll have that new cool weapon or ship. Now, what these are, these rebel battalions or these supply runs, wrong one. These aren't, I wouldn't recommend going for these, but if you're like a level 30 or level 40 that's joining us and don't know what these are are what you call supply runs, and it's kind of like an event calendar for the next 2 or 3 days, and it just shows you what they have, and most of them is just these crates that you get, and it's to kind of upgrade your ship to kind of make it carry more stuff. So it's kind of useful for upgrading existing ships that you already have if you're having trouble building newer models. Now, the other ones that aren't supply runs and more stuff like these are called like events, where it's more broadly more unique tools and weapons and blueprints for you to use. Like, this is like an automatic long range weapon for your base, and these are fighter squadrons. And these ones in particular are used for your base, and stuff like this just kind of decreases and speeds up time of your builds. Now, one more thing is the alien mobilization. This is not something for new players, but if you're just curious to know what this is mainly for just the high level players that are like 40s, but usually 50s or 60s, and you just get alien like blueprints and ships and weapons and stuff like that. One last thing is, if you want to check coordinates, what you do, or to give coordinates, you take that and drop them, and then you do it like that. And you can do this in all 4 chats. This one's the Alliance, this one is the group chat, and this is the planet chat, and then this is the sector chat. There's no galaxy chat. And this is just your private message things. I won't open mine just for certain reasons. Other than that, I think we've gone over many of the basics. If you have any more questions, that I didn't mention, comment them down below and I'll try and get to that ASAP. After this, I'll try and do something that isn't Vega Conflict, because I've been doing a decent amount of Vega Conflict content, and it'll probably start to get boring if I just do it consecutively, so hang in there if you're not a fan of this, and I'll try and do something different every now and then. So, I'll catch you guys later, and Godspeed.